Welcome to Audio Portraits. Today we have Priscilla on the show. Welcome, welcome.
Thank you. I should be saying welcome to y'all for being in my home. Well, welcome to you.
Well, thank you for having us.
What a beautiful place.
Thank
It is,
you.
right? All the stuff on the walls, it just really screams Priscilla. I love it.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, wait. What does that mean, though?
To me, that means like it screams everything that you are, your personality.
Maybe she could explain it to me because, or to the audience too, because I don't know Priscilla like that.
Yeah, so just give us like an elevator pitch of who you are.
Oh my gosh. Okay, first of all.
And why do people call you Priscilla 69? I just want to
No
know.
one calls me that.
I think you just made that up
Literally
today.
you.
Yeah. No, I just saw you type in your password, and that was what came
That
up.
was
so.
not what.
Now the password
You
needs to be
wish,
changed.
Leah. This guy. Get your head out of the gutter. Oh my
I like how she
goodness.
called you Leah too.
Yeah.
Oh, I said Leah.
Oh, I heard Leah.
Leah.
It's okay.
Yeah, I'll give you your own name. You're going to give me a name. I'll give
Yeah.
you
Oh
a
yeah,
name.
true. But throughout high school, because lowercase L and a uppercase I is the same.
It looks
right?
the same.
Oh,
So
yeah.
it's stick A.
Yeah.
So I went like
Like,
all yearbooks. It was just Leah.
oh my
The-
god.
and I'm so used to
you
it.
gotta do a small I. You can't do a
and then
uppercase.
and then sometimes like when you sign up for things or make appointments, and then they're like Leah. I'm like, it's me. They're like, what the fuck?
So
Do you
yeah.
have like nicknames? Okay, yeah. Is this
On-
podcast about you?
I was gonna
honest-
I'm
say,
just
let's get back to Priscilla. Let's get you to
Yeah,
tell
let's
us
go.
a little bit about yourself.
Oh, I feel like that's such a loaded question. Anytime someone
Elevator
asks.
pitch. We only got 3
Yeah.
floors.
What? Okay, here we go. I mean, it's very interesting that you said that my place screams me, because that's what everyone always says when they come here, and I feel like I instantly am grateful for that, because I feel like I know what they're talking about. You know, I know myself enough to like know what I'm outputting in the world, and I think that in summation is I'm bubbly, I'm very animated. I think that's the best way that I would describe myself, is that I'm animated and I just have a ball of energy.
You're very easygoing too. It seems like.
Yeah, just chill. You know, we're
Yeah.
here. It's about like cozy comfort vibes, just peace.
Because Jevan always
chill.
warns me to kind of tone things down with the jokes before
Reel it in?
before we go to
Uh-oh.
places. But I feel pretty comfortable here. I'm
So
not
far?
gonna lie. Yeah.
You haven't offended me
Yeah.
yet so far. So, I mean, if you can call me Priscilla 69 and like we're okay.
Yeah,
Then-
for sure.
Then I think we're on a good page right now, right?
For
Yeah,
sure.
no, I love that. I love that.
Yeah.
So I've always been curious, like, you do a lot of different things.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I've seen you on films, like on both ends.
Uh-huh.
You know, I see you always throwing different types of events. I see you hosting a lot of different types of events.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how did you get into this world?
Oh my goodness. Well, honestly, since I was a little girl, I imagined having a talk show, like specifically having a talk show.
Interesting.
And so I would always get in trouble at school for like talking too much. My mom says my first report card, like kindergarten, not even grade 1, y'all. My mom said it was like, okay, Priscilla's great, like great student, you know, very, very bubbly, very friendly, but she chat too much.
Yeah. that ADHD. Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
like undiagnosed, whatever. But then like that was it every year, like elementary, junior high, high school. And it was one of those things which I feel like looking back, I think it's kind of sad that it wasn't something that was nurtured, you know, at the time.
So would you say it was like looked down upon?
Well, yeah, because teachers would make it as if it was a bad thing,
She
like,
can't
oh, she
pay
talks too much.
attention.
Yeah. Instead of saying like, oh, okay, she's very, you know, charismatic. This girl could be prime minister one day. Like, you know, stroke me a little bit, nurture that side of me. But anyway, so I didn't really feel that in school. But I remember coming home one day, and my mom was watching BT 106 in Park.
Shout
Uh-huh,
out.
right? Yes,
Gotta love
classic.
that, yeah.
And I saw Free on TV, and you know, she had
Free
this-
Willy?
Free Willy.
Okay, keep going.
No.
The disrespect. Yeah, that's my inspiration. Next show. I could be anything.
That was
Like,
the first thing that came to mind. I was
What,
like,
a
there's
dolphin?
no way
Is it
she's
a dolphin
talking.
or a whale? Free Willy.
neither.
Oh, it's not a whale?
Because
shit.
Let's Google.
fact check
Let's
that.
Google.
We'll fact check that
We'll
later.
fact check that
Yeah.
later. And we'll
But
put it up
anyways,
right here on the
it
screen.
was Freeway, I believe, her nickname, right?
Free, like just straight
It was
up
just
free.
Okay, yeah.
And so I remember seeing her.
Fact check that too, please. Yeah.
Freeway, that's a rapper.
That's what I'm saying. No, but I feel like she was the host. But
She
anyway.
was the host.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Okay, so her name was
Whatever.
Free, and I just saw her on doing her thing, and like she had the same skin tone as me. She had same hair at the time, like an afro. So seeing that representation, right? And I'm like, oh, that's what I want to do. I can get paid to talk. Like, do my teachers know about this? Because they are hating hard, right? And then seeing that really just like put language to actually what I wanted to do. So from then on, I knew I wanted to host a talk show or just be in that realm of like community building and like connecting and conversating and getting to know people, just literally connecting through our own human experience, like our like individual, our inner worlds, but then we each have an inner world. So then using communications as a tool to like connect to your inner world. And right. So just that's always fascinated me. Started speaking at church and then started hosting like weddings and little one-off things like that. Went to school for broadcast journalism, and it's just been kind of domino effect ever since.
Nice. What's out of like everything that you do, like I wanted to talk about all the different things that you do, but I'm also curious of like what your favorite thing to host is, or if you could choose one thing that you could host for the rest.
What if like if we were to describe Priscilla, like how do we describe you?
Oh my gosh, that's so hard. Like, okay, this is a side note. I'm gonna answer all these questions, but just the thing about a favorite, that's another thing, is when people ask me what's a favorite, that is so hard. Like when someone's like, okay, who's your favorite artist? I'm like,
I
come
never
on,
answer
what
that.
genre? Like, what's your favorite movie? I'm like, again, it's so hard. Like, and I don't have a favorite color, for example. Like, I like palettes of colors. Like, I'm drawn to multiple, like, multiple things. Multiples. Anyways,
I like The
whoever
Notebook.
edited it. Did you say The Notebook?
Yeah.
All right.
You seem like the type of guy that would like The Notebook.
That tracks.
Yeah.
Noticeably.
just kidding,
That's
but
good.
yeah.
Good pick.
Yeah.
I think I'm just drawn to multiples. I think it also depends on my mood, like how I'm feeling. I'm drawn to, how things make me feel. Like I'm a healer-feeler person. So it's like, how does this thing feel to me? So when it comes to all the things that I do, it's so hard to pick a favorite because, hosting radio, it's like, that's fun because I could just show up in my sweats and just like, all you have to do is hear me. I don't have to like do much, try hard. It's like, you just kind of show up and it's just fun.
So let's talk about you hosting radio. Which radio show are you on?
CJSW.
Nice.
As well as CKUA. That's actually new. I just started. I started
Okay.
Monday.
Okay.
Oh, nice.
Yay,
I was
me.
gonna say
Kinda
congratulations.
Thanks, guys.
Let's go.
Yeah, so radio, but then also, shout out to Calgary Surge, being in the basketball games, doing that in-game live hosting stuff.
Oh,
That's
you
so
do that?
fun. Were you at the games this season?
No, I wasn't. But
Alright.
yeah,
Next season.
that's I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's fun.
Why didn't you tell me, Jamar?
Yeah, well,
Jeb's
that's
helping
one of
out.
I literally was gonna bring it up on the
John told me
podcast because
nothing.
I'm like, that's one of the things that I wanted to talk
Yeah,
about.
that's
It's like
awesome.
that's such a big experience to have, like our first basketball team,
So dope.
which means like you're the first host. Like there's a lot of firsts there, Like
Yeah.
how does that make you feel?
Oh my gosh. Honestly, it's making like little Priscilla scream,
That's awesome.
Little Priscilla is so happy because, again, like seeing Free on TV, it's like, okay, I had this vision of like, okay, I can see myself doing that one day. And then you just kind of like, okay, that's a nice dream. But then when it actually comes to fruition and to reality, and a lot of the times, I'm speaking for myself, I don't pause along the way to like really look back and reflect on like, oh, I did do that. Because, not zero offense to the opportunity. It's such a huge opportunity with Calgary Surge. I think I was like, okay, what's next? Like, it's just, I definitely, that's something I'm trying to practice of just like, oh my gosh, you did that, and just relish in it. And it is
appreciate
super
it for a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And just like, gratitude.
Hey, but at the same time, I guess you gotta push forward too, right? So.
It's like both and. Yeah, just like a nice balance. But I think to encompass everything that I do, and I don't know, I'm not a huge fan of titles. I haven't found a title that I like gravitate towards the most.
So you just be like almost a personality? How would you
Honestly,
Yes!
describe her?
the way that I would describe you is
Tell
like
me, tell me.
Priscilla.
As a
If
host?
anybody knows Priscilla,
You just,
like
it's just Priscilla.
Yeah, like
I
you don't have to say
am a
anything.
noun.
Priscilla, to me, yeah, Priscilla means energy, like
Wow.
full of love and
Aw.
like there's so much more that I could say, but it's like
Thanks, Jeff.
anyone that I know that knows you would
Yeah.
say the exact same thing. It's like you just give that type of aura off, and yeah,
I've
like
never
we could just leave it
heard
at
him
that,
speak
like,
so nicely,
That's
man.
so
I hope you speak about me that nice.
Hey, I barely know you, compared to Priscilla here. I've known Priscilla for a long time.
Too
you know?
long.
So
Too long.
there's that. There's that.
So good. Aw,
So
thanks,
what is
Jeff.
next for Priscilla then? What's the goal? What's the main goal? What's the ambitions?
That's a good one. That's a big one.
Or what's your dream? I wouldn't say, let's not say job, because obviously you love what you do so much that we can't even call it a job. Just say call it a gig or.
Yeah, it's definitely. I definitely operate in the gig economy world. It's like project based and a lot of like contract stuff, but it's always different. It's multifaceted. It's creative. It's never boring. It could be a little scary sometimes because, you know, again, it's like project to project and you're like, oh, this project's about to wrap up. I haven't lined up the next thing. But honestly, the more that I say yes to the things that feed my soul, the next thing always comes. God is always like, yeah, don't worry, I got you. But that's because I'm saying yes to the right things, you know?
So are you
it's always in
saying?
alignment.
Sorry, just to touch on that. So are you saying no to a lot of things too?
Ooh, good question. Not as much as I should, probably.
Yeah. No, because sometimes people say like as soon as I started saying no, the
That's
bigger
when-
projects started coming because you know it's that effect of now she's getting bigger and she's getting booked up, so we have to get her and it has to be Priscilla kind of thing.
Booked and busy. Yeah, I mean, I definitely think when I started saying no to the things that I know for sure weren't feeding my soul, and it wasn't
Right.
just I'm saying yes for a paycheck, I was able to get clear on like my direction, and I think that's what brought me to now. What your question now is, like, what's my future? Let's just my big vision thinking is finally my talk show that I've been thinking about since I was a little girl.
Yes.
And I launched it this year in April 2023, and it's called The Oratory. And it honestly is just like this landing place for all of the things that I've done. It's like it kind of encompasses all of it, because for so long I'm like, I don't want to choose one thing. Like Jeff, you were asking, you know, if you could pick one thing. I'm like, and before I would be like, okay, I'll pick TV, or okay, I'll pick radio. No, I'll pick this. And then at the end of the day, I'm like, oh, shit, I just cracked my heart. That's a habit, actually. I didn't even realize. Oops. At the end of the day, I'm like, actually, I don't want to choose. I want to do all of it. So the oratory is kind of the landing place for all of it.
I think it's a balancing act, right? It's like I was the same way growing up. It's like
Yeah.
there's so many things that you want to do, or maybe even if you found that one thing that you do very well, it's like, how do you know if you're good at anything else if you don't try those other things? So it's like, I feel like throughout life, you have to go through these stages where you try everything and taste everything. And to touch on what you said, it's like you tried all these different things and it led you to the one thing that you actually wanted to do most. And like, it was kind of like me. I touched so many different waters.
Yeah.
And then eventually it brought me to the camera that I never even knew that I even enjoyed doing, right?
I
So
swear,
it's
I was
like-
going to say, I just got goosebumps, by the way, as you're talking. Again, that's like me feeling, like I feel things in my body when I'm excited. I'm like, oh, goosebumps. I will never forget when I learned that you did photography. I think it was only like 2 or 3 years ago.
3 years ago now.
Yeah. And I think I asked your sister, and I was like, oh, I didn't know, you know, like your brother does this. And she's like, yeah, like I think he just started. And I was so like, I guess what's the word? Just pleasantly surprised. I'm like, okay, dope. And then
It
just
was a
seeing-
pleasant surprise because I didn't pick up the camera to go make money with it. Like,
Right.
It was just for me and the boys to go snowboard and catch some videos of ourselves and just
Yeah.
edit a quick video.
Yeah.
And it was just for us, really and
Right.
truly. Then
But
one-
that's the stuff that you end up enjoying. You know what I mean?
Takes
Yeah,
off.
100%.
Where you don't plan it, you have to go to work and things like that. And, you know, you turn this
Yeah, it's a little
obviously into
different
a
now,
job.
right? You know, it's like you
For-
get paid for it. It's like, oh, shit. like-
Construction.
You gotta deliver. Have you guys heard of this concept called ikigai?
No. I
So it's a Japanese concept. We ain't talking about Japanese strippers, Ilia. Okay,
Okay.
we were talking about that off camera.
I would
Anyway.
prefer to talk about Japanese strippers, but we can talk about other concepts too.
Oh my god.
So what is it?
Anyway.
I hope my wife does listen to this. Go on.
Ikigai is this concept that, so it encompasses 4 different elements. So it's kind of like a Venn diagram. So imagine like Ikigai is in the middle. When what you want to do, when what you love combines with what you're actually good at, because sometimes they're not the same thing, right?
Things don't line up sometimes.
Right?
Like that, yeah.
But if those 2 things are in alignment, okay, great. And then the third thing is what the world needs. And the fourth one is what makes you money. When those 4 things align, like that is your Ikigai. And I finally feel like, okay, I got my Ikigai.
Oh, nice.
So it's so dope.
You
So
found it, yeah.
yeah, because sometimes, you know, you get 3 of the 4. Because, you know, there's so many times I had like a corporate job and I was like, okay, it's paying my bills. And, you know, the world does need this because I worked in nonprofit a lot of the time. So it's always giving back to the community. But I'm like, oh my gosh.
This
But
isn't paying the bills.
yeah, or
Yeah,
something. There's
yeah.
always one ingredient missing,
That's
or
missing.
something, right? But when all 4 of those ingredients match up and line up, that's your Ikigai. And like that is basically your kind of purpose of life and your path forward. So it's been really interesting since learning that concept. I'm like, okay, again, saying yes, saying no, and getting to the Ikigai. So y'all got your Ikigais?
Oh, man.
I think I'm on the way to the
yeah.
Ikigai. I'm not sure where he's living right now.
Yeah.
Like sometimes he's on my shoulders,
Ikigai
sometimes he's
69.
on the road beside, you know. But like,
Okay, but
Right, yeah.
Just to spin back, did you mention what it is you're gonna do next?
Yeah, so my talk show, The Oratory.
this guy was not listening.
Yeah,
This
sorry.
guy, where'd you get this guy?
I don't know. I found him on the street, to be honest.
Spinning back because Jevan was saying he wants to try things, and then all I could think about the whole time he was saying that, you know, when we get him in a restaurant and this guy's picky with his food, bro.
Oh God.
What?
These guys
Yeah.
think I'm so picky.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah,
like,
he's like, I want
I
to try
might be
new
picky.
things. I'm like, bro.
I might
know
be
that you're
picky, but
picky.
I don't think I'm that picky. I just, you
Just
know,
like particular.
I'm particular about a very small number of things.
Right, okay, so there you go.
Like, you know, halal gang, I don't want no pork. And I don't want no olives. Like, shit, I feel like I try most other things.
Those are
That's
2
just
very
straightforward.
different things.
I just have to throw it out there, you know? So, like,
Examples.
just in case I find a wifey out there, you know?
Oh, okay. Oh,
You know what I don't like, so don't bring that to me.
damn. Okay,
Well,
I didn't know this.
Now that he's speaking with women, then how come you're so picky with women then? If you want to try all these new things.
Whoa.
Yo,
it's
who
getting
said I
deep.
was picky with women? Yo, I love all women. you
I
know?
heard the way you talk about women.
All women.
Now this guy
Okay.
trying to put me on blast. This is not true.
I'm like, pass the popcorn.
This
What
is not
y'all
true.
talking about?
But speaking of popcorn, I have to say, because we got here and like this is what I mean. Like, you're such a beautiful soul. Like, she made us food, and I'm real hungry. I want to
Can we eat?
bring that up, so I want to bring some food up here.
Yeah,
That's
here
why you
go.
brought it up?
Here you go.
I brought it up just so I can have
Yo,
a
she,
piece. to be honest.
she saw me, so then she decided
Yes,
to make
I
spring
did.
rolls.
Listen,
She's like, yo, who's
She's like,
coming?
I think this guy likes spring rolls.
So she asked me who's coming. I'm like, yeah, I got Vince and Ilia coming, and I know she knows Vince, so she's probably like, yo, what should I bring for food? This girl gets freaking
spring rolls? Guys, it was on sale. Please.
yeah.
It was that's all it is.
Nobody
Was
said
it on sale or was it racist? Which one was it? No, we playing.
Guys, honestly, food is like my love language. Like, it's how I give love, it's how I receive love. Like, I love cooking for people, and I love going out to eat and trying new things. Like, it is a love language,
100%.
right?
I agree.
And I feel like in the Asian culture, all Asians do is just go eat. I don't know what the fuck. If they don't have any other hobbies or what it is, man. They don't work out. They don't sit there and sew or knit or anything like that. They just go to
Eat.
restaurants.
For all the Asian people that sew and knit, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I'm sure there's some of
Yeah,
you
to
out
all
there.
the three people out there. But Asian people know exactly what I'm fucking talking about. They
Yes.
just go to restaurants, they post it, they wait in lines and shit, and all the bubble teas and the fucking their cakes. Yeah. Yeah. Priscilla's like, that sounds pretty good.
So throwing it back to like your earlier conversation, I'll put that over there.
I'll put these spring rolls by me. Why don't you?
So you were saying that like you can't choose one thing that you enjoy the most, and you allow energy and what you feel to kind of guide you. Is there anything that like how do you explain that? Like, how do you choose your path?
I feel like it's through practice, honestly. Like, I wasn't always like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna go with my gut. It's like, well, damn, sometimes your gut can play tricks on you, or your heart can play tricks on you. But it was really honestly through practice of saying yes, of saying no, of like, you know, and you do know when there's a gut instinct and you go against it, and it's like a month or a week later, you're like, oh, I knew I should have, whatever, you know, that first instinct. So I'm being a lot more mindful and cautious now of like in the moment, my in the moment reaction. So responding instead of like reacting, right? So just actually taking the time. Pausing is another love language. I feel like we don't practice that enough as just like humanity. We're always boom, 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 on the go, on to the next thing. It's just like,
And you were even saying that before, like you've been taking a moment to see where you are and what you've done type of thing.
Exactly. 100%. Yeah. So I feel like when we just kind of practice more pausing, and yeah, honestly, I would just say just that it's a practice, like it's an embodied practice. And I don't know that there's one answer. It's just like, this is an answer. Like it's one answer that has worked for me personally. And it's taken time. Like it's not this thing that's like overnight of like, yeah, you're going to be a success after you do these 3 things. Like it is an ongoing journey. And then when you get to the next part of your journey, you already evolved since then, and then now you're like new levels, new devils. Like it's just ongoing.
Being on
you
journeys
heard
like
that, Vince? New levels, new devils.
What is that? Something that he says?
No, I don't know. I just want to get him involved sometimes because he never says anything. He's the camera.
He's just like on his phone, right?
Yeah,
Instagramming?
just running like
not
6
even checking the
cameras.
audio or nothing. Like, what is this guy even doing over here?
Originally started, he had a mic. He didn't even set one up today, man.
Oh my
know.
gosh, really?
Yeah, we're
Just
gonna
like,
return his mic because he ain't even using it.
damn,
So
Vince. Okay, it's all right. We're holding it down over here.
yeah, I wanted to say
yeah.
something on that last piece, but I totally forgot.
Yeah, sorry.
No, you were asking me just like, how do you kind of?
Oh yeah, so I was kind of touching on like, if you like being a creative like this, like I feel like it's inevitable to hit roadblocks. Like when you hit these roadblocks, like how do you keep going and not just give up and go get that secure 9-to-5 job or whatever it may be? It don't have to be a 9-to-5, but like just go get a job that is more secure. Like how do you push past those barriers?
She's just shaking her head. She's like, no.
I'm like, I refuse.
No 9 to 5 for me.
I'm still behind the barriers.
I refuse to work for the man. I work for nobody. No, just kidding. But that's the thing is, you know, the stuff that I do, I still work like with people, not like for people. And we're creating something together. But 100%, the thing that I struggle with the most is honestly like my spiritual and my mental wellness. So I feel like it's a lot of people just default and they think because I'm, you know, this very front facing role, I'm on TV, I'm on the radio, I'm on whatever, that like, oh, she must have everything together. Like, look at her, polished and everything. Like she has a microphone. She must be confident. Like her life must be perfect. Are you kidding me? For all you know, I just like broke down right an hour before, you know, in my head, in my feelings and crying or whatever.
That's the social media era.
100%. You know, we see the highlight reel,
So
not the behind the scenes.
do you feel like, let's say you go on these talk shows and everything like that, do you need downtime after? Because it's such high energy requirements, right? To be on a show, to talk all the time and just to give so much energy out, right?
No, I know people think that I am an extrovert.
Right.
Like, I'm like, no, actually, I'm
You're not?
I'm an outgoing introvert. Like,
What
honestly,
in the? I've never heard that before, but hey,
you just learned this right now. Today, years old.
Yeah.
today years old.
No,
The nickname for that is Priscilla.
No, like for real, I feel like there's a misconception of what an ambivert is, introvert and extrovert. What it is actually like, what you were talking about, Ilia, like how do you gain energy the most? And I don't gain energy from people. Like I'm the one giving energy. So
Right.
I gain energy from myself. So that's what makes me an introvert, is like, once I'm done pouring my energy out into these streets,
You need to recharge. Huh?
I'm like, yeah, like I literally turn my phone off all the time. It's always on D&D. Not always, but like a lot of the times I unplug and just like, yeah, you can't reach me because I'm zoning out. And
So
I'm
if you
just, like,
can't reach Priscilla, you know why.
I'm chilling.
It's not, she ain't hating on you, you know. She just,
There you go,
recharging.
yeah.
That's recharging, literally. Just
recharging.
like
She
batteries.
told
I
me
think
to
everybody
say that.
needs some time to recharge, but a lot of
100%.
people just, all they can think of is go, and I don't know. Some people just think like you take a day to just recharge, that they're gonna go
Right?
10 years back in life.
I know.
It ain't like that.
No, for real. It's like, I think there's this conditioning. And I only notice it honestly on this side of the world, like the Western side of the world. Like, I know my ancestors, my people in Trinidad, even like parts of Africa, they're chilling. And I didn't even know, oh my gosh, I watched this series. They're talking about people who, oh my gosh, centenarians. It's like people who live past 100. So they're somewhere in like a remote place in Tibet, and it's like the most amount of people that are 100 years old live in this place in Tibet. They're like 115, man. I'm like, what?
Okay, yeah, that's not a big deal. Yeah.
They're like 115.
Yeah.
I kept like, it's just wild. But again, it's that
but there's
practice
nothing
of,
out there
like,
either, right? So I don't know if it's low stress or what it is. The air's just fresh out in Tibet.
It's
living
for
off
sure
the
lifestyle.
land.
Yeah, they
The
got a couple
lifestyle, what they
goats,
eat.
Yeah, a couple goats, some milk.
That's it. There's no rush to be anywhere. They're chilling. They're living off the land, supporting each other. Like, yeah. So
I think that you just said that. Like, you said they're in no rush to get there, and the first thing that I thought of is like, I feel like being in places like this, like people are in a rush to get to the end.
right. And it's like,
I mean?
what is
Like
that?
we drink ourselves away, we party ourselves away, stuff like that. Whereas they're just taking their time with life.
That's it. And that's the thing is, a lot of the times people don't even know what the end is. Like, what is that destination? People aren't even clear on what that is. Like, what success looks like to you. For me, success is peace. Like, literally peace. And that's it. If my interactions are peaceful, boom, I'm successful with my family, with my friends, whatever. Anything that I touch and do, as long as it's like, again, feeding my soul, giving me peace, amplifying my ikigai, then that's it. Like, I'm already successful. I don't have to wait till I make millions, because I will.
Oh, I like that. I like that.
But I won't even touch that million if I can't have peace now with where I'm at. With, you know what I mean? It's like, God's not going to give us more.
That's so good to hear, because I feel like a lot of people, especially men, with I feel like we have a lot of egos and competition, whether it's friendly or whether it's unhealthy. We're always like, oh, we gotta grind, we gotta do better than before and things like that. Yeah.
And it's like, who told us this? Like, where did this conditioning come from? And it's only because we see other people doing it.
Yeah, 100%.
So then it's like, oh shit, I gotta be. I'm like, shit, where's everybody going, man? Like, it's like,
I think sometimes you just look at somebody and you go like, oh, you feel like maybe that if that person did it, why don't you have it? And you should be out there.
It's a comparison game all the time.
Yeah, it's a very unhealthy game. And listening to Priscilla talk about just slowing down and just following your heart and things like that. Definitely opens my eyes a little bit more, but hopefully to some listeners too, they hopefully understand that you don't always have to chase, because that's also an unhealthy way of living life. So you just maybe need a balance somewhere, right? So
And, like, everything that we're talking about right now actually reminds me of your repos event, and like all the things that you were teaching people at that event. So like, I know maybe not a lot of people would know about what that is. I know you probably don't know what it is. So if you want to go ahead and like kind of explain what repos is.
Totally. Thanks for bringing it up, Jeff. I mean, it speaks to, again, the amount of things that I do in the community. But like, it all is in the same vein of, again, just like that healing, that wellness, that goodness. Like that is all we all want. All we want is to like just enjoy life, like love and be loved, and that's it. It's like, I feel like we just complicate things as humans. But Repose was an event that we put on. Yeah, and it was about this. It might sound like an oxymoron, but it was like speed resting. So it was like speed dating.
yeah, right.
So imagine like, I don't know if anyone that's watching or listening has been speed dating, but it's basically like, we had these little rest rooms and these like rest stations. And the idea is that you don't need a lot of time to rest. So each station was like, I think 15, 20 minutes. And then you'd hear a little bell. Oh my gosh, that's actually our bell from the...
That's the bell.
There you go.
That's the bell.
I just realized that's hilarious. Yeah, and then you do your one little rest station, like whether that was, we had a meditation, like napping room as a rest station. Then we had movement, like a dance embodied kind of little station. Hydration. Hey, yes, absolutely. I like it. Oh, you're hired.
Yeah.
It rhymed.
Yeah.
Then there was like a spoken word station. So there's all these little stations. And then when you heard the bell, it's like, okay, time to go to the next station. But again, the idea is like, you don't need a lot of time. Like sometimes when I'm driving, I'm like, okay, I'm resting right now. Let me turn this music off. Let me turn this TV off. Or TV. Well, TV too.
Yeah.
But for example, when I'm driving, it's like complete silence. I'm like, this is actually rest to me. You know, I think we really have to think about what does rest mean to us.
But that doesn't put you in your headspace where you start overthinking now when there's like no music and nothing, you know? Now it's just silence and just you and your thoughts.
Oh, for sure. But again, it goes back to that practice. Like at first it's like, you know, it's been 2 minutes. I'm like, okay, this is too much. Like, let me turn this thing off. And then it's like, okay, the next time I tried it, okay, I can go 5 minutes, 10 minutes. It's totally a thing of practice. Like, yeah. And being comfortable with the uncomfortable, I guess. Yeah.
Nice.
Love that.
Now, what about on the personal level? Like, what is your situation in terms of maybe dating, your family? What's your goals there? What's your aspirations? And
Oh, is this gonna be my dating profile video right now?
maybe, I heard speed dating. Yeah.
This is audio portraits Tinder.
I love it. Oh my gosh.
But you know, like, how's your friend situation? How's your love life?
No,
and things like that?
this is a great question. I actually was talking about this the other day with one of my friends.
Yeah.
And we were talking about, the different areas of our life, like whether that be like finances, which is different than career, right? Like those are, I see them as two different pockets. Because your career could be like the thing that you do. Finances, you could have all these different kind of side hustles, and right, so it could be two different things. And then we're talking about like the family, but then also like your actual health, like physical health and then mental health, all those things. But then also your social health, like your friend circle, what communities are you part of? What, just like what groups are you part of in the city, kind of thing. And honestly, everything is covered except for the love department.
Oh, it's
it's
tough
why?
out
But
there.
is it
It's
though?
tough out there.
Because
What
I
do you
feel
mean?
like out of everyone, like you love yourself the most. So I feel like you got the love department, but
Okay.
you just got
That's bars.
that's bars right there for you.
Dub, that's
I was like, where's it going with this?
I like that. I like that.
I was gonna
That's
say
so
something nice too. It's like, you're a
good.
good-looking girl. I can't believe you know.
That's what I thought he was going. I was like,
Someone hasn't snatched you off the street yet. You know?
Tell me more. Tell me more.
That's what I thought he was going to.
Yeah.
That's so funny. No, it's so true. Like loving yourself first. How can you even be in a partnership with someone if you don't even love yourself?
I was gonna say that's the biggest thing that I grew up on. It's like,
Yeah.
if you don't love yourself, how do you expect someone else to love you? It
Facts.
doesn't really make sense.
0 cents. 0 cents. It's the whole oh my gosh, I used to use it. Like the air mask analogy when you travel, right? They always say put yours on first in case of emergency before you try to help somebody else. Like even if it's a child, like how you gonna try to help this child?
If she passing out, now your child
Now
passed
you
out.
just-
Yeah, we say that in the fitness world too. You know, before you help anybody, you gotta help yourself.
Right.
Because a lot of trainers now, because they're making decent amount of money, because fitness is blowing up, they're all getting out of shape. But then it's like you see these trainers that are out of shape and you're wondering what's going on, but they're literally working so much and just giving so much of themselves
That they're not.
that they don't want to work out in a place that they work now, right?
Yeah.
I
it's
agree.
over.
They're not the icky guy. So
I honestly, just to touch on that, I agree, but I also disagree because I also feel like people are just in this era now where because there's so much online, there's so much information online that people will let's say learn how to briefly exercise off of somebody else, and they see that opportunity there. They're like, oh, like, yeah, I listened to these 10 YouTube videos, so now I can teach it. So the way I see it is these people are learning from someone that may or may not know what they're talking about, and then
100%.
trying to make their own money off the same thing, but they don't really, they didn't teach themselves that.
and there's so much conflicting information too, right?
Exactly. So they're just trying to take advantage of the opportunity that's there, but taking advantage before they actually make themselves competent on the issue. Right?
And like exactly, because you said earlier, Ilia, like you kind of summarized what I was saying about like follow your heart, but it's even more than that. It's not just follow your heart, but like know your heart, because again, like your heart can really play tricks on you, but you don't actually know until sometimes you don't know what your boundaries are until they're crossed.
100%,
Can you touch on that, because I just thought about that right now, and I'm just like I follow my heart for sure.
Sure.
All day.
Right.
But at the same time, in the same hand, I'm just like, do I actually know my heart? And like, you just made me
Is
think
your
about
heart
that. And I'm
experienced enough?
yeah, and I'm like, I feel that. Like, I for sure, like, ask anybody that knows me. Like, I follow my heart, but I don't necessarily
In
know
what
my
department,
heart.
though, you follow your heart, you know?
With things that I want to do with life, I guess.
Yeah. Okay, that's fair, yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's so interesting. Yeah, I feel like knowing your heart is like, again, just like that critical self-reflection, asking yourself questions. I have self-dialogue all the time. Listen, I talk to myself all the time. Like,
Did you know you're supposed to talk to yourself out loud?
You are supposed
and
to?
not in your head.
Yeah,
because
I've tried that. I sound like a fucking crazy person.
It sounds weird, but like if you speak to yourself out loud,
love
it actually helps you to grasp what you're saying. Because people
This makes so
people
much
talk
sense.
to themselves in their head all
Right.
day, but then don't ever act on those things.
Oh my gosh.
So the more that you say it out loud, the more that you actually will practice it.
See, I knew it. I knew I've been doing it right.
Yeah.
The amount of times I'm like talking to myself, literally, my friends will be like, "Who are you talking to?" I'm like, "Myself." Or literally, I'll be like, "Whoever's listening." Like,
This is a
You-
free conversation. You can join in if you want.
But some of the stats came
Yeah.
out and they said, like, you know, half of the people don't even have a dialogue with themselves, which is kind of crazy.
Which is
yeah.
weird.
But do you
That's
think-
fucked up.
do you think they just didn't admit it because they're like, "I don't want to seem
Maybe.
Yeah,
like
a
I'm
crazy
not
per-
normal."
If
Yeah.
somebody gets you in a room, says, "Do you talk to yourself?" You're like, "No."
Nope.
Yeah, right.
Because I don't know anyone that admits that out loud, really and truly, except for you, of course, 'cause you just did.
Yes,
but
I do, 100%, and I own it. But it's just so funny. Like, I don't even know where I saw this, but they were like talking about someone that was like talking to themselves. They're like, "Ah, ha, ha, look at that person talking to themselves," and it's like, but who are you talking to? Like, who are you saying?
Yeah, okay, I see that.
Like you just
Right?
talking to nobody?
Like,
I
ah,
don't
ha, ha,
get
look at
it.
that person talk to themselves. It's like, but you are talking to yourself just by saying
By
that
saying
alone.
that.
Like,
Facts.
so it's just so funny. We're so, I think, just caught up in like, yeah, perfectionism, and we talk about like, oh, you know, do away with perfectionism, or we post all of the quotes and all the things of like being a better person, da da da. We don't actually practice it.
Yeah.
Like, we just do not like actually practice it, and it goes back to again like knowing your heart, and that is through, again, I feel like self-dialogue. I'll ask myself like, oh, why do I believe this thing? Like, where does this thing come from? And I'll kind of track it back. It's like, oh, that's because my mom said this thing when I was 12 years old and it formed this idea, but I don't actually believe this. And then this like unconditioning. And the more you read, the more you digest podcasts like this one. And yeah, just receiving information, you know, checking in with yourself, having your own kind of internal compass. You're gonna,
Sure. And
slowly
then when
know
you see
your heart over
yourself
time,
kind of
for
on
sure.
camera and you see yourself talk and all the things you're saying, then you're really
Yes.
gonna, how would you say it, diagnose yourself almost.
For sure. Yeah.
Do you-
Self-diagnosis.
Do you guys, like, this is a question for both of you. Like, would you guys know the best ways or practices to be able to learn how to better yourself or better your situation or whatever that might be?
Well, the one thing,
Yeah.
touching back when you guys are saying talk to yourself, I do, because I teach a lot of kids, and I do tell them to talk to themselves. I do tell them to kind of be hard on yourselves, you know, because a lot of times, yes, you can be nice to yourself, but sometimes you just have to tell yourself that you're doing wrong because you know you're doing wrong, right? And that kind of propels you a little bit. Keep yourself in check, you know. A lot of times when you don't want to wake up and go to the gym, you have to be like, listen, man, you know, we made an agreement.
Damn,
we should-
Ilya,
we should
you're hardcore.
We shook invisible hands here, and we said, you know, we're gonna go for at least a week straight, and then you'll feel guilty if you don't go, right? So sometimes having that dialogue a little bit is
That's interesting. I
it's
like.
completely like different, right?
I've
But
never heard like be hard on yourself. I literally preach the
yeah,
opposite. I say be
exactly. So when you're
gentle
saying
to
that, I'm like,
yourself.
oh, you know, there's got to be a balance somewhere. But the one thing I must say, like, I'm so hard on myself. Be like, do this better, do that better. Make sure you wake up. Make sure you do this.
But isn't that what's wrong with
I'm
society?
drained. 100%. I'm drained. And I'm
So
not
don't listen to
I'm
this
not doing-
guy.
I'm not doing the right thing. But I feel like I'm reliable. I get shit done, and I'm just an absolute machine when it comes to, you know, work.
But see,
But
but
at
then
what
again,
cost?
now
And
you're
absolute mental health costs.
But now you're talking about all the benefits that you're giving for other people, but it doesn't sound like you're helping yourself.
100%, and that's why listening to Priscilla, I'm like, oh man, this is a completely different world that I obviously I understand, but I should practice a little bit more. That's for sure.
It's
And
practice.
yeah.
It's
So
like,
I actually listened to this podcast. What were they saying? It's like they use the gym as comparison because a lot of people want to change certain things in their life, and it's like if you want to lose weight, you have to change your diet.
Yeah.
So it's like if you want to change your mindset on things, like you have to change what you ingest and what you listen to. And a lot of people don't change those things. They're like, okay, if I wake up earlier and go to the gym, like my life will be better. But it's like, no, if you want to lose weight, those are the things that you should be doing. But like if you know
I have a hack for that.
Yes.
What's the hack?
The hack: go on your Instagram, go on your TikTok, and just watch a bunch of fitness videos.
What the?
And then all your entire feed, your entire algorithm will be fitness, and you'll start. It'll just implant in your head. Something. It will be something about diet. It'll be something about your workouts. It'll legit implement into your head.
Like little seeds.
Yeah, little seeds and something that you're gonna take away. And that's just not with fitness. I'm sure with anything, like learning camera stuff, right? Your algorithm always teaches you something. Sports, basketball, whatever. But please, please don't land in an algorithm of some dumb shit pranks and dances and you know what I'm
But
saying?
hey, maybe that's also comic relief for some people. That's what they need.
For
Depends
sure.
what you use social media for, I guess, too.
Yeah, but you should try to land in whether it's mental health, whether it's fitness, whether it's something. I feel like you should definitely just hit a better algorithm.
I see what you're saying. Like people should use social media as, because like everybody attacks social media like it's the issue. I don't think social media is the issue. Like the issue's always been there.
Yeah,
social media is just
but if
exposing.
Highlighting it,
if my kid lands in a shitty algorithm and that's all they're learning from a young age and even 20s 30s, that's all you're basically surrounding yourself around those type of people, and your jokes, your vocabulary, everything you're learning is going to be for whatever you're seeing, right?
And that's the thing. We just need to make better choices, period, as humans. But we won't make better choices unless the things that, unless our beliefs change. So, people's behaviors don't change until their inherent belief system changes. And if you're going to keep digesting the same things, then you're going to keep believing the same things.
Doing
you
the same
just see
thing.
the same result.
Exactly. You need a little bit healthier habits, I guess, and then
Yes.
and then the willingness to change, right? I think that's probably the hardest part. You guys are talking is that you have to find the reason why to change.
It's
right?
so tough.
Yeah.
People talk about that a lot.
So let's talk about that. What would you say you would change, right? Or you want to change in your life, whether it's professionally or whatever.
I'll let you go first.
Oh my gosh, a couple things come to mind. Maybe it's the same thing though.
Yeah.
I was gonna say my time management, my time blocking.
Yeah.
Because honestly, I procrastinate. I'll wait to the last minute a grant is due, and I'm like, okay, sure, I can do singing.
I got a month left.
Yeah.
I got 2 weeks left.
Yeah.
I got 2 hours left.
Yeah, it's just dump it in. And if I time blocked, I probably would have saved myself brain cells and stress and all the things.
Go, yeah.
So definitely, it's building, like you said earlier, habits, but routine, a routine that is just at least if I didn't get this thing done, at least I know because of my routine, I prayed today, I journaled, I did my little sound bowl or whatever, Yeah,
I'm so
I don't know,
indifferent about routines. I don't
Yeah,
know why.
really?
I'm not even trying to get into it fully,
Oh,
but I don't know why. I'm
interesting.
just so indifferent about routines. Routines are good, obviously, but
Routines are
sometimes
made.
I don't
Sounds
want to be
boring.
stuck in a certain routine.
I teach a
no,
class
that's
on
fair.
this. Routines are made for things that you don't like. Big- right?
I get
That's why
that.
routines are there. That's why you write them down. That's why you mark them in. Is to get things done that you don't want to do. Because everything else is
Interesting.
not a routine. The things that you want to do, hang out with your friends, go
that's
on
a fact.
dates.
Oh yeah,
It's hanging out. It's enjoying
automatic.
life.
Yeah,
But everything else has to be a routine, or else you're not
You
going to
just
get
won't
it done.
That's so
That's
interesting.
actually true.
That's cool.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting that.
Well, you have this is so. There's 3 different kind of schools of thought.
Yeah,
Routine.
exactly.
100%,
all
right?
blended into one right now.
Yeah.
I
We
guess
call
it-
that audio portraits.
and that's why it's interesting to sit down with different people and learn from them,
Yeah.
right? So I definitely
How do you
enjoyed
guys?
that.
This is so random, but I have a question for y'all now, because this is one thing I keep hearing, especially in the creative industry, is consistency is key. Like I've just heard that my whole career, just like consistency, consistency. Okay, maybe I'll hear your guys' thoughts first, and then I'll share mine. Yeah, what comes up for you when you hear that?
Consistency is key, and I agree because you are what you repeat.
But see, okay, that's routine.
It is, which is why I didn't want to touch on the topic because
that.
I'm indifferent about it, but I know that I need it. And this girl brings it back up to throw me under the bus. But yes, repetition is needed in life to create and mold yourself to what you want to do, right?
Okay.
But yeah,
alright.
I mean, you can look at consistency as routines, or you look at consistency of being consistent of improvement, right? You can look at consistency of doing something new every day, to
Yeah.
learn something new every day, right? I think I was even telling you and Vince that when I first started learning cameras and stuff, even with editing, I said every single edit I'm gonna try to do something different, and that was part of
That's
like
consistent.
a different consistency, right?
Right.
Maybe a negative consistency would have been like, oh, I just use a template and I do the same edit, right? And every time I'm gonna edit, I'm gonna do the same way. It's hard-headed. It's just not a way to keep learning, or I feel like you're just blocking yourself, and I don't know. I don't even know how to explain it properly, but I
No,
feel like you
yeah.
definitely want to make consistent improvement, consistent things for your health, whatever makes you better, whatever makes you healthier, right? And consistency with food, for example, right? We talked about that, fitness, and I don't know.
I feel like, yeah, consistency, like, it's like you said, consistency doesn't have to be every day. Consistency could still be like, every Sunday I do this. Like, it doesn't have to be like your full calendar is consistent. Hey, look how consistent I am.
100%.
It's like, you know what, actually the first day of the month I always do this thing. Like, that is also consistency.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I swear, the only thing I'm consistent at is being inconsistent.
That is Jones.
Like, it's just, so I think I've had this weird relationship with consistency. So now I've kind of shifted more towards, it's not about being consistent. It's actually just about being deliberate. And like, when you're deliberate, because I'm like, okay, sure, I'll do this thing. Like, shit, here comes Sunday again. I got to do this thing because I want to be consistent. But then I'm doing it, and my heart's not even in it, and I don't even have the energy to do it. And I'm just doing it because, I'm supposed to be consistent. For me, things go way better. Anything that I output is way better when my energy is deliberate and I'm like intentional and I'm
So you
putting
get
into
like
this
your
thing,
energy first, and then you get things done.
Yeah, or just like I have to. It's again going back to the feels. I gotta feel it to feel
You
it.
see, that's so interesting because like I'm in such a different world.
Really?
Right?
Yeah.
I'm like, I procrastinate, but I do feel like I tell myself, I'm like, okay, get this done now, and like that short-term discomfort and like that feeling of like just doing it or rushing myself to do it leads to like such a long-term comfort after. You know, it's like a small speed bump to get over, and then you're like, it's done now, and now you just cruise. You know.
And I love that. That's like I
love that for you. I was gonna say I love that for it too because I want that for the
right, that
hell
sounds
of me,
great.
but I don't do it still.
I know.
Yeah.
And that's maybe just what doesn't work for us. Like, we haven't found our thing
We
yet.
haven't
Like,
found our
Ilia,
thing.
we love that for you.
No,
Yeah.
100%.
This
And
is
like I
like-
said, it's awesome just sitting here and just listening to different people's perspective, right?
Yeah,
So
there's no right or wrong. It's
absolutely
just, it's just
not.
your
I'm
own
not telling
truth.
anybody who I'm right or I'm wrong. It's just the way I operate and
Yeah.
whatever you take out of it, right?
Like, this is
So
what has worked for me. What about you? Kind of
100%.
thing. Yeah.
100%.
That's his way of saving his ass so nobody, harps on him in the comments.
you know somebody
Trolls
will, yeah.
come out. You get canceled out
actually too
here.
funny.
No. Yeah,
but
so
but I
good.
think also being a dad now, that taught me a
Shout
lot
out to
of that.
baby Alex.
Yeah.
Happy birthday, Alex. He's 8 months today.
And then the thing I learned too, it's like when the baby's crying, there's no procrastinating. You know, when the baby needs milk, there's no procrastinating. It's like, well, my wife does most of the work. I'm not gonna lie. I came in real hot thinking I'm gonna do most of it and
Yeah,
like
yeah,
do
yeah.
at least do half of it, but
Yeah.
there's no way I could possibly handle it. But that's one of those
Shout
things.
out Selena.
Yeah. But that's one of those things too. It's like when those type of things need to be done or something like that. I think having a baby taught me that. It's like they need to be done like now.
Yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah.
crazy.
There's
It's like
no
I
waiting.
feel like I need these things to teach me too, but it's like, do I need to pop out a baby to
Right.
to have?
It's like I
have
feel like
these
there are a few
lessons?
more steps.
No, you
for
need, what they say. Well, they say in
Yeah.
my country, you either need to go to jail or you need to go to the military,
Oh,
and then you learn these
wow.
things, right? Because the wake up time is, let's say, 7, 8 a.m. and your beds better be made, or the consequences are gonna be there for you, right?
Right,
So-
right. Waiting
And that's
for
why in a lot of, I think, Eastern countries, they do have the mandatory 2 years serve in the military. It just helps, I guess, instill a little bit of routine, a little bit of, how would you say it? A little bit of, I'm losing my train of thought here.
A little bit of mama.
A little bit of mama.
Yeah.
That's
I hate to say it this way, but in the Eastern side, they just say like, "Oh, you need. This is what you need to do to become a man."
Right.
So
You
what
know
he's
what I mean?
saying,
Yeah.
the other thing he was missing is that's another way for
I was
them to
trying to find a
instill
nice way of saying it.
fear.
Yeah.
Instill fear.
That's what I wanted to say. I was
Absolutely. You
like,
need to be
ooh,
scared,
sounds
man.
like
You need to know that there's consequences out there, right?
fear
But at
based.
the same time, you know, that's not the healthy way of living, and that's why they don't live very long.
Well, right? That's
Yeah.
like fear-based living, and that's why I go back to feel-based living.
Absolutely.
Come on.
Absolutely. And I think everybody needs to learn that too, you know. And I definitely need to. I'm trying to learn that, especially listening to this. I'm like already thinking, man, I'm gonna go home and chill out a little bit. I might find a hydration station.
Hey. Unplug. No, that's so good. Yeah, all the little tools
Yeah, for sure.
along the way, add into your toolbox.
So what do you do on your spare time? Like, what's your hobbies outside of personality and work and career?
I mean, I think I'm very blessed. I feel very blessed, privileged, and grateful that the work that I do doesn't feel like work. It's still very creative. It's playful. It's fun. So they kind of, there's definitely like an amalgamation and a blend of where the line is drawn of like my creative life, my career life, or like my just like chill life.
Hobbies?
Yeah.
But let's try real hard to like rip away from
Dang,
the
okay.
creative side.
Okay,
and-
okay,
'cause
okay. Let me
I
think.
do understand that
Little
like
bit.
everything that you do
Is like,
is intertwined with that.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
But there's got to be something out there that isn't.
So back
Okay,
up.
okay,
So
okay.
if her career, her hobbies, everything's intertwined with work. So she is the hardest worker in the room then. You know what I mean?
She is.
Yeah, she's saying
But
like
it just
she's
doesn't-
so
Guys.
chill,
It
but
just doesn't seem like it.
That's all she does is grind then.
yeah,
that's
it just
the-
looks like I'm playing, but
But
really.
see, but like that's
Put
what
it that
everyone
way,
that's
yeah.
what everyone needs to find is like
yeah.
it's so
The icky
easy. Yeah, the icky. It's so
guy.
easy to grind
The icky.
24/7 on something you love to do.
Yes, the icky. Oh my gosh. No, and maybe that is even that question is almost a reflection for me of like, Priscilla, you should have something that is separate. Like, honestly, actually, I guess I could say chess. Chess is something that I have discovered during the vid, during the COVID years, and it just stuck. And I literally love playing chess. It's something so fun. And I think it's something surprising people don't expect from me because chess feels like a very serious game, strategic thinking,
It
know,
is,
and
it
I'm
is.
very much like all over the place, whatever, on all these
I actually
frequencies.
heard that
So,
you
yeah.
burn a lot of calories playing chess because your brain is just
Thinking
using
so hard.
Yeah,
Really?
exactly.
Right?
Yeah, using so much brain power.
Yeah,
your
I love
neurons are
chess.
firing.
Yeah. I love chess. I love rollerblading. That's fun, which is
Okay,
also
that's
really
cool.
random. Yeah, I don't know if I feel
See,
like a
there you
kid.
go, there you
See, I
go.
got stuff. I got stuff.
There you go. You just
Come
have to think
on.
about it. Yeah, you don't have to work all the time. Yeah.
We have to force it out of you.
I
She was
know,
about to
I'm
tell
like-
us everything that she does for work.
I was like, wait, yeah. I was like, oh my god, I have to have more stuff. Yeah. But I would say those two things. What else? I love going to IKEA. Like, I don't know, I don't even buy stuff. I just will go there, and I'm like, oh, that's cute. That's cool. Oh my god, I'm getting so old. Like, why?
What about restaurants?
It's like
if
such an old
you-
person thing
your
to
f-
say. Look
yeah.
at this pot. Like, what the hell? Anyway,
What about your favorite restaurants or like places that
I don't
you
have
like to go?
favorites. Remember, Ilia?
Yeah. Okay. What?
What's the go-to?
If some guy's like, Priscilla, I want to take you on
Like
a date.
food.
Picking you up at
Oh my
8
God.
p.m. I'm outside.
Damn. First of all, I'll just say yes.
Yeah.
Let's-
I know.
that I'll just say yes. That's my answer. Yeah.
Food? Yeah, we about that.
Let's go.
What's your favorite restaurant? Yes.
Yeah, I'm down.
Literally, you had me at food. Like, I don't even. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like one thing I really want to get more into is like nature, and not even, I don't have to go all the way to the mountains. I mean, the mountains are right there. I do feel like I personally take it for granted and advantage. People are coming from like across the world to come to our mountains that are like 45 minutes away.
You see people
And I'm
living
just
in
like,
their
eh.
minivans to like
Go.
work and live in Banff.
Yeah.
And
Right?
I go there once every
Like,
2 years or once
that's
a year.
it, summertime, or if someone's visiting from out of town.
Yeah, exactly.
But even like, look right here over my balcony. You can see the river. You can see the trees. Like, why don't I? We'll just walk my ass over there. You think I could? It's just right there.
I
So-
don't see the river.
What? It's right there. It's a little dried up.
I
It's a
see
little-
it. I see it.
It's a little dried up right now, but yeah. But no, I feel like that is also something that I would want to, because you're talking about practice, like doing things, like putting into practice. So I do want to practice like separating my hobby.
So what restaurant is the man taking you to?
Damn. Okay. Let me see.
Or what type of food? Let's start narrowing this.
So hard. That's so
bitch
hard.
down,
I mean, of course, I have to, like, my heart. I'm a Caribbean gal at heart.
You better
Please.
say some Caribbean food.
I can feel your eyes. I'm like, oh my god, these guys. No, for real. Like, that's. I'm just like drooling as I'm thinking about it. Hold on a second.
Some
Yeah.
jerk chicken or something?
100. Oh.
Since we're talking about food.
Okay, yes, get in there. Jerk chicken, stew chicken, curry chicken. Please,
chicken.
every chicken.
Every chicken.
Roti, bus up shot. Please. Oh, you know about bus up shot? Doubles. What else we got? Macaroni pie. Okay, I'm gonna just go off. Also, it's so good. Oh my gosh, no, I really. Okay, are we done this? Because I'm a little hungry now. No, just kidding.
That's why I have to grab me a spring roll.
Yeah, I would say that. But I also love Italian food. I love pasta. And how it makes me feel. It's like very comforting. But then I also love Mexican food. I love tacos.
Okay.
But I love empanadas. But
You
then
hear
I also
that, Javon? You hear that?
oh
I didn't hear anything.
Yeah,
What?
that's
Why?
what trying different things sounds like.
going back.
When do I not try different things?
Where'd
Please,
you find-
Bro, we went
keep
to a
putting me on.
Vietnamese.
We're
we
gonna
went
talk
to-
about this
we
right
went
now.
I
to a
think
Viet-
you've.
We're gonna talk about
This is
this
a
right
new.
now.
I didn't know that about
We went
you.
to a
I feel like you
Vietnamese
eat everything.
restaurant.
Okay.
Went to a Vietnamese restaurant.
And?
Oh, I love
He
Vietnamese.
won't eat the
pork.
the blood. Yeah.
What?
I'm just
He
kidding.
just made that up right
Just
now.
shaming him?
No,
Aw.
what was it? It was.
Tell me what it was, because I don't remember.
Shit, maybe it was the pork.
Sounds made
Make
up.
sure
Spring
that-
rolls. Spring rolls. You wouldn't
Oh,
touch
there's
With
those.
pork
in
in
it.
there.
What's wrong with this guy?
What about these, man?
Those are chicken.
Oh my god!
You didn't even ask.
I didn't have to.
Yeah,
didn't
I
have
already
to.
know. I already know what this guy
We'll get
eats. I
back
didn't
to
buy
this,
any
yeah.
pork.
Yeah, it's just the pork life, yo. No swine. No swine.
Hello. He's
To be
everything.
fair, I
Hello.
try to stay away from pork too. I feel like it's not the cleanest meat.
It ain't clean, yo.
yeah.
I try to stay away from bottom feeders, you know. But at the end of the day, I do like shrimp.
Okay.
So
Oh, I know.
shrimp.
I know. They're like the cockroach of cockroach.
yeah,
of the
I gotta
sea.
stay away from you too, cause you a bottom feeder, bro.
I eat ass for anybody is wondering what he meant by that.
What is this?
I think everybody caught
podcast?
that already. Yo. I think everybody caught that already. But this guy just had to expose
Had to
himself
go
extra.
there. He
He-
just had to go the
You
extra
gotta
mile.
get ahead of it, you know.
Oh
Yeah.
my
Like,
god.
oh my god, did they
Is he
mean
talking
eat
about him?
ass? Like,
You're
yes,
like, I would call
bitch.
myself
That's
out.
exactly what I meant.
this guy just pulled an Eminem, huh?
I love it. It's so good.
Oh,
yeah,
wow,
good
that's
times.
Jokes, that's jokes.
So did you go on dates often, or do you find Calgary a good dating place, or what kind of guy you're looking for?
The world. Let me just intersect, yo. The world is not a good dating place. Like, what is this fucking Tinder
Right?
and Hinge
Well,
shit?
then tell me why.
Thank
I don't know. That's why I'm still
I'm out of the
single. You
game.
told me you're the one with a kid and a wife. And shit.
Yeah, you should be giving us advice.
Tell
Exactly.
me what I'm supposed to do.
Let us know.
Help me here, bro.
play the numbers, play the game. I don't know, man.
I've been playing
the-
the number game for too long, fam.
I
What's the next
don't know.
step?
I just feel like people don't value relationship like they used to. Like partnership. I'm looking for a partner. I'm not looking for a person. Just like, my boyfriend, my whoever.
But what are like some of the values or what kind
Girlfriend?
of person
No, it's
that
fine.
you're looking for, or the traits that you're looking for in a man?
Well, I didn't know this is a whole dating podcast, Ilya.
No.
But no, this is
It's a you podcast.
this is one of those things that people, that are maybe single that need to kind of sit down and think about before they start dating.
Fair.
So then
I sure do.
They don't go out there and
Fair.
trip over rocks and land in places that they don't need to land in.
No, it's so true. Like when you're clear, like I think about all the other things in my life that I got clear on, my vision of my own, like what I want to do with you or Tori and all these things. Like when I got clear, it happened. But I swear to God, I've been clear with my relationship. So that's why I was saying I feel like it's the one department that I don't get it.
The non-negotiables. The non-negotiable. Realistic non-negotiables. Right?
Non-negotiable. Okay. Non-negotiables. See, again, I don't really know my boundaries until they're crossed. I'll tell you what my for sure's what I need. Like humor. Like you need. Like I start with humor, honestly, because like it encompasses so much.
And you know what? It cures so many things in the world itself. Like if you can laugh at things.
We need to be able to. Yeah, and also. A good sense of humor is a sign of intelligence as well. So that's already kind of checking that box off.
I'm smart as hell.
Right? I'm a damn genius.
But we ain't talking about me. Go on.
Yeah, so humor for sure. That's like top of the list, like literally number one. But then also emotional intelligence. Like I need the person that I'm with, they need to have gone to like at least one therapy session. Like identify with I do struggle with this and this or whatever. Like you're not kind of trying to live up to this perfectionism. I swear, like men, y'all don't do therapy. Like you are afraid of it.
My therapy is the mirror found. Like, yo, bro. I'm like, yo, bro. We've been going through some shit lately.
My God. You're
so
your
like,
own
this
therapist?
Is what we gotta I'm my own therapist.
Lord have mercy.
Why do you think I still need therapy?
That's why he was asking earlier. He's like, hey, do you guys talk to yourself?
Yeah. Just checking, asking for a friend.
Yeah, exactly.
Just checking in.
His name's Prince.
Yeah.
But, hey, for whoever's asking.
Oh my gosh.
So that's fine. When you find somebody that you love, you'll be able to talk to them instead of talking to them.
I think, honestly, though,
and
but
they're
like,
not going to judge.
In all seriousness, like, I say, like, you try to look for this, you try to look for that. But, like, for me personally, like, I'm not. Like, I'm the type of person where I'm just like, whatever's supposed to happen in life will happen. And always. When it's supposed to happen, it'll happen.
Preach.
So,
and
like,
it's the same for love.
Yeah, you can't force energy. You can't force life. Like, I don't know. I feel like everyone's life is written for them. So I can't change any chapter in my book.
Ooh,
so it's like,
I
keep
this
it
is
pushing,
like
you know?
I don't know how long this podcast is going to be because I'm indifferent to this because
Okay,
I also
touch on it.
Honestly, I grew up believing that, thinking that like, okay, your life is written, your life is already planned out. Whatever decision you make, it's going to end up to the same thing anyways, the same outcome. Like it's destiny. But then I don't know because I feel like, every opportunity, every time we take a step, anything in life is just like an opportunity for us to make a choice. Life is just a series of choices. That's literally all it is. So like, I don't know that it's like predestined because I don't know.
But
I don't know.
You didn't say, honestly, I'm not even gonna lie to you. You didn't say anything to deter me from what I just said.
Because I'm not sure myself. I think I'm like, so you mean to say, because, okay, what if I had this idea and I'm like, yeah, okay, I'm definitely going to pick this. And then the day it comes, I'm like, actually, no, I'm going to feel like this. So you're saying that was predestined?
No, I think a good way for me to explain it is, let's say I'm supposed to have a wife. I'm not going to force myself of trying to have this wife at 16 when in reality I'm actually supposed to have it at 65, for example. So, like, I'm just throwing random numbers out there. But, like, I'm not trying to force a situation that may already happen later on in life. If it's not supposed to happen now, it's just not its time.
But how do you know that?
I don't. I just keep it pushing.
But that's what I mean. But, okay, so you're just, like, waiting for it to happen.
I'm not making any predetermined decisions.
Okay.
I'm just feeling life out.
And you think that itself is written?
Yeah, because a lot of times I'd be making the wrong decision or the right decision. But it's like, I'm not, me personally, I don't just sit there and be like, fuck, like, that's probably not what I should do, so I'm not going to do it. Like, I don't do very calculated decisions like that, where maybe I should, but I don't. I just live my life as we go.
That's powerful, because it's like, and I don't know if it comes from a church upbringing. It's like, it's already written, right? Like, for me, that's where I learned it from my mom. like God-fearing woman. She be at church more than people be at work. Like she's there. And I remember her always saying, like growing up, like it's already written. God already has your whole life story, beginning to end, in the in the book of heaven. Like, but then I'm like, oh wow, that's so cool. Like, so can God just reveal to me then? Like, just tell me my dream, God, that everything's gonna be like, it's like,
but that's you wanting to fast forward the reality that's what's already supposed to happen. You just gotta let it happen when it comes.
For sure. And I know that. I know that.
Yeah, you let the
so
mic.
Serious,
let the mic know you know that.
Yeah. I know that in my spirit, in my soul, my heart, all of the things.
But
when it comes to specifically the department of love and relationships, for some reason I'm like, but will it? Like, I don't know what it is. It's like,
but like, why do you ask yourself that? Like, do you need to have a relationship
and honestly,
at this point in your life?
Honestly, no. Like, I actually don't have time. Like, when I really think about it, I'm like, I am actually not ready to invite someone to my life right now. Like,
whoever you believe in will put that person in your life when they're supposed to be there.
No, facts. Okay.
And then,
Love podcast brought to you by JB.
And you guys are asking, who's the therapist? I am my own therapist.
Yeah, there you go. No, because I guess from my observation, what I see is, I don't want to say from young people, but from the dating scene now, is that everybody is so scared to open up to get hurt.
Yeah.
And it kind of spins into this cycle of, if you're scared to open up, then I'm going to be scared to open up. Nobody wants to get hurt in a situation, so they
don't date.
They don't date, or they rather ghost or end it or whatever, just not to be like vulnerable, right? Like, is almost, you're saying like, oh, let it happen. In a perspective, wouldn't it be like easier to just kind of shoot that gun, open up, take that chance? Yeah, you might get fucked up and wrecked and get hurt, but at least you gave it a bigger opening or a better chance, because you did open up and you gave that person, let's say, your trust, your understanding, and then you put the ball in their court to kind of open up, and that's what flourishes a relationship.
Speak on it. I'm so happy to hear this from a man.
I honestly, I fully agree to that, but it's like, if you're someone like me, for example, that like, I'm not gonna sit here and say that I know exactly what I want, but like, I have an idea. So it's like, if I already am opened up, and my partner, for example, isn't, then shit, they ain't the one for me. So they got to keep it pushing, and I got to find someone that.
But that's exactly what I mean. At least you did. Did what you could do. You know what I mean? Yeah.
I know, but see, for me, it's like because I just think about myself all the time. It's like, no one was ever. Yeah, I know, but literally. But no one was ever able to tell me what I should do or think or whatever. So who am I to be able to put my beliefs onto somebody else and make them fast forward their life learning? I can't. If they're not there yet, then they're not there yet. And no matter what I say is gonna change that.
But you're not giving them the chance to accept you and for them to open up to you.
Oh, I don't know. It's so tough. Being in a relationship is the hardest thing. Think about the relationship to yourself. Like, we are our own worst critics. People always say that. So think about how hard it is to do that same thing with a whole other person and their life experience, their values, all the things. It is so hard for me to make my little changes. I was talking about doing routine. Where do we think we're going to change another person where we can barely, change ourselves sometimes? It's 100%, like, it's so
It goes back to what we were saying before. You got to start with yourself. It goes with your partner. They got to start with themselves.
That's
shit.
It.
When they ready and I'm ready,
then
God's going to be like, go to that Cactus Club on Stephen Ave and y'all will meet.
Right. I just got goosebumps. Yo, that's gonna happen.
I'm telling you.
I believe it's
a nice place too.
That's
shout out to Cactus Club on Stephen Ave.
Are they gonna sponsor this episode?
They better. I like them sunset sodas.
I like their oh my gosh, now we're just talking. Why don't we always talk about food?
Yeah,
I think we're just
the blackened chicken. I like the blackened chicken.
The blackened chicken. Yo, that garlic butter that they put on the potatoes. Are you kidding?
And then there's me. I ate that shit like 4 times a week, and now I'm sick of it. I can't even eat it. Yeah, I'm sick of it.
Killed it. You murdered it.
First world problems.
First world problems. Yeah.
So I'm so happy to hear what you were saying, Ilia, about like, open up, and then Jev, you're like, duh.
But
It's like,
exactly.
but this is really refreshing because in my circle of friends, do you know how many like talented, intelligent, together, whatever that means, beautiful, just incredible women that I'm around? They're all single, and like we just keep having like these same stories again that yeah, the people that they are dating, they're not opening up or they're afraid of like emotions. And just, I feel like apps and like sex and love is so accessible. You can just like swipe, I'm over it. Or like you said, ghost, block, delete. There are sex dolls. Yeah. There are like, I feel like there's just this loss of true intimacy. And it's been replaced with like this dark energy of intimacy that's like porn and like sex dolls and sex toys.
Do you know what I think?
It ruined everything.
It ruined everything because it's like, oh, great, my partner doesn't talk. Great, I'm just using a sex doll. It's like, you know, they're not gonna fight back. They're not gonna argue.
You're not gonna talk
they're
back.
Not gonna challenge you.
So touching on that, I think one of the biggest issues is like empathy. Like people don't have empathy. So to touch on that, it's like people will be on these dating websites and it's like, if you're not ready to be married at 25, then I don't want you. Or if you're not this, I don't want it. Don't message me. It's like people have all these expectations for things instead of letting people just be them and be empathetic with their situation. It's like, okay, well, if that person's not there yet, but you, let's say you love them with all your heart, it's like, just put yourself in their shoes and realize it's like, okay, you may be there, but like you weren't there the whole time. It took you time to get there. Exactly. So be empathetic for the other person to be able to get to that same situation.
It's like you don't have to be this perfect person because I said, okay, I need to be doing my stuff. And you're like, I need to have my stuff together. It's not about perfection. It's just because I also want to be with someone that I'm building with. It's like, I don't want them to have everything. And then it's like, okay, yeah, now we're these perfect people and we're together.
Saved.
Like that. Yeah. It's like, no, like I want to build with you and grow with you. But the idea is like, you know, two healthy people. And when I say healthy, I just mean like, again, you're
able to
knowing
work
yourself,
things,
work through
emotional
things,
control,
yes, regulation, all those things. Two healthy people, man, they have the best chance at having a relationship and a long-lasting relationship. Two unhealthy people, no chance in hell. And then at least one healthy person and an unhealthy person, it's like, okay, there's a little bit of a chance. It's like, okay, that's half and half. But the point is to be like healthy, not perfect. It's just 100%. Like better. And
I think part of the relationship or most of the relationship, especially in the beginning, is building together.
That's it. Right? That's it.
Yeah,
find someone that you can build with, not that like already has everything and you have everything. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm just like,
because it's easy dating. When you start dating, you just go out to eat and hang out.
Yeah, and it should be easy. A relationship should feel like challenging. You should challenge each other. Exactly. That's also what I want in a partner. I want someone who can challenge me, but it shouldn't be hard. Like it shouldn't be difficult and toxic. I think that's what people get confused with. It's like, damn, okay, yeah, this person's challenging me. It's like, actually, no, that's toxic. Like that's abuse or that's whatever. I should feel challenged. It shouldn't feel difficult and hard. Like life is hard as it is. I can't have my relationship.
That's what I'm saying, yo.
Like no.
If they're making my life harder, yo, I ain't about that relationship.
Why are we doing this?
That's not for me.
Yeah.
I think that's why I've never had really relationships growing up. And not because I'm like scared or nothing. Yeah, because I don't know. I'm not trying to talk about it. I'm not trying to sit here talking about that. But like, it just was never for me. Like,
I swear you had one girl. No, you did have a girl for a while.
Yes, I've had two girlfriends in my life. And you knew one.
Okay.
How long did they last?
That was 3 years. It was a long time.
3 years is a long time.
3 years is a long time.
Man,
my longest relationship was 7 years. That was
my
whole. I could have been a damn doctor.
Yeah.
Sheesh. I've been a lawyer, y'all. That's a degree right there. Like, but that was, I was young, and I'm like, man, it's just, I don't know. Dating was different then.
Yeah, you give it a shot. It shows that you're committed too.
Right. See, so like me growing up, I feel like what I seen all the time, and like obviously this is not for everybody, but what I seen a lot was where people are in relationships just to be in a relationship.
Yeah.
Like I knew people that would get out of a relationship and then jump into one just because they don't want to be alone. And I ain't about that life. Like for me, it's like I want to be happy with myself and be able to be alone. If I'm able to be alone, then you know, I can be comfortable being with somebody. Because a lot of these people, they can be with people.
That's so good.
But they can't be alone.
Yes.
And like, I'm okay if I'm alone. I'm
Yeah.
gonna keep it pushing. Where some people,
100%.
like, they don't know what to do with themselves. And I don't want to be in that position where it's like, I need somebody to be able to go through life.
Yeah, no, that.
Like, if
that's
someone doesn't come
unhealthy.
into my life,
You're still good.
then I'm still good.
Yeah.
Why would I want to
no.
depend on somebody to be there for me?
For your happiness.
For
like
my
Yeah,
happiness.
you shouldn't. We as people, it's like we are responsible for our own happiness. Nobody else. Nobody else.
100%.
I think, yeah, at the end of the day, we're all trying to do the best with what we got. There's a saying of like, okay, be the best version. Oh no, what is it? It's be the best. No, what is it? Oh my gosh, it's like.
What quotes you usually think about them before you say them?
I know. Damn. Okay, hold on. Wait, how does it go?
I have no idea.
Yeah, I
Do
don't
you
know which
Well,
quote.
anyways,
I
people
don't
are
know
always
which
talking about
quote.
like be the best version of yourself, my best self. Oh yeah, my best life. Okay, here we go. Now we're back on track.
Let's go.
It's like people talk about like my best life, living my best life, being my best self. Like you guys have seen those hashtags, right? It's like that's like living my best life.
Boss babe.
Yeah, boss babe, best this, best. Sometimes for me, and maybe this is just I don't know if Ilia's gonna agree with this because we were talking about something earlier. But anyways, for me, best sometimes can be so much pressure and so much of like, oh my gosh, best. I equate that to perfection. Yep. So for me, I'm working on being my better self. Like best, I'm like, that's a lot. I'm just focused on being my better self. And I want someone that is also focusing on becoming, like just becoming, like full stop. Like we're human becomings, not human beings, you know? Like we're continuously evolving. Like, so that's the kind of person that I want. So anyway, that's the end of my rant with this relationship stuff.
Yep.
I
Now we're done.
love that.
Did you want to wrap it up, Jevan?
Yeah, we can start heading that way. I'd like to ask, I had a couple questions actually. One is actually more based on audio portraits itself. I'm curious because you guys said it briefly before. It's like we talked to a lot of different people on this podcast here. What would you want to see on this podcast, or like who would you want to see on this podcast and why?
Ooh, who is it specific to here?
It doesn't have to be, but it can be.
Oh my god!
It could even be like someone famous, and like because you chose someone famous, give us the reason why you would want that. You know what I mean?
Okay. Whoa.
Jevan really was thinking about this question, man.
I know. I was like,
know what
damn,
mean?
you could've
He whipped that shit out of his pocket.
Like, damn,
bro.
couldn't you
Like,
give
he's
me this
carrying that
question
around.
ahead?
He was carrying that around for weeks. Man.
Listen, weeks, and you
Forgot
couldn't,
to do it on the last podcast.
and
that's
you
why.
couldn't tell me last week. Like I
Damn,
am
man.
not
I just could have sent
prepared.
you some questions or something.
Oh my goodness. Oh my gosh. I mean, I love this. Like, I love listening to content and podcasts that sound like conversations in a living room, exactly like this. Like, it sounds like, oh my gosh, this is a conversation me and my friends were having just the other day. So just like the day-to-day topics that we are all wrestling with, because I want to know that I'm not the only one wrestling with these things. Like, that's it. Literally just straight up conversation of like, okay, how do you feel about this? Because we are all in relationships, whether that's with a partner or with ourselves, or even, you know, platonic friends, like
friends
straight up.
is a lot of work too.
Friends is a lot of work, yeah.
You know, you gotta take time out of your day, wish them happy birthdays, you know, hold their hand when they're going through breakups.
lot.
Going to the bathroom.
Right.
All of
Yeah,
that.
yeah. I was
Together. Yeah, just like this day to day. But I also want to hear how people are taking, you know, usual, like, typical concepts and turning them on its head. Like, just how I said, living your best life. I'm like, no, I'm going to live my better life. Like, something like that. I don't know. Yeah, just lived experience. Because we can be talking about the same, like, I don't know. I'm even looking at this sound bowl. Like, we're looking at the same thing, but we've all interpreted it differently. Like, you can't stop bringing that thing. And I'm just like, oh yeah, it's decoration. Ilya hasn't even looked at it. He's like, what the fuck is that? Like,
Is that pistol mortar? Or is that
Hasn't
like,
heard it.
oh, he,
No, I haven't
oh,
heard
here
it,
we go.
yeah.
Wow.
No, it's soothing. To be honest, I thought you were grinding some shit up with it, you know?
Oh, I have one of those too.
Yeah, we
actually.
could do
It's in
that
the
too, you know,
kitchen.
but like
That's
then
so
it
funny.
won't ring. So
yeah, I'm always interested to hear people's perspective on like the same topic. Like, yeah, polar opposites, because yeah, we all have different information to share.
Appreciate that.
And then, so my last question, kind of here to wrap things up, is I kind of want to start a thing on this podcast where I'll start it off because it won't make sense, but I want to have our guests answer a question that was left from our previous guest.
Oh, I like that. That's
but
cool.
we are starting this now,
Oh.
so we don't have a previous question from a previous guest.
Oh,
So
damn.
I'll just give you one.
Javon's been smoking
And
blunts,
then-
bro. He's been smoking blunts, and late at night, the ghost fucking of podcast
No,
comes
bro,
to
this
visit
guy
him.
showed
and
me
shit.
this guy smoking a ghost pepper, bro, out of a bong.
What the
And
heck?
I seen that, I was like, yo, what the? But
See,
anyways,
we
off
hit a
topic,
better
yo.
algorithm.
Wait,
bro.
Okay, wait. Before we get to it, because I want to answer your question that you just asked, because
Okay.
I didn't answer it. You asked me who would I want on the podcast.
Yeah,
you said
but
what and who.
So like I said what and who, but like the
Oh.
who wasn't necessarily
matter.
needed to be an answer. It was
Oh,
more so
okay.
what would you like to hear? So it doesn't
It's more
matter
like what I
who
wanna
it comes
hear.
from. And you kind of touched
Kinda
on that.
touched
Like
on.
you want to hear people have conversations about relatable things
Relatable.
that you live through in your day-to-day life. And like
Yeah.
that's what I listen to in my
Yeah.
podcast. It's like I listen to this podcast where I'm trying to learn things, but for me, it's hard to learn things that I don't understand.
Right.
Where in this podcast, they speak about things that I don't know, but in a way that I can understand it. They speak my language.
Yes, exactly.
So like, I would love for us to be that podcast that knows how to
Yeah.
speak the language of other people that are listening.
Yes, that's so good. I love that. That's so good. But I like that last question that you said. So you're leaving it with the last question from the last podcast, but we're doing it for the first
so
time
we're
right
doing
now.
it for the first time. So I'll leave a question for now.
Okay.
My question is, and you could even leave one too if you want to, but if you had to, how do I say this? If you were to talk to your younger self, what would you say?
You got this. Girl, you got this. Believe in your dreams as much as you believe in other people's dreams, because yours are just as worthwhile and not far-fetched. Like, they're possible. You know, I never knew anyone with a talk show, so I was like, how am I even going to make this happen? But future Priscilla made it happen, baby girl. So
Against all odds
Yeah.
and against everybody in your ear telling you that that's the dumbest thing ever, probably, right?
like, the thing is, I never even shared it with people
Oh,
for
is
them
that
to even
right?
give me feedback.
Oh,
Like,
wow,
that's how
okay.
much of a, not even a fear. It was just like, this is impossible. Like, that's how, look, I'm getting choked up talking about it.
I honestly, that being said though, I think that's the best way to manifest things. It's like a lot of people are like, oh yeah, like I want to be this, but like they're more interested in telling everybody what they want to be instead of just
Right,
fucking doing it.
it. Yes.
Like, don't talk about it, be about
be
it.
about it. Like, I want to hear about the things that you did, not like, oh, I'm going to. Oh, it would be nice. Like, no,
Yeah,
you
'cause, like,
tell me that you did this thing.
I
already.
have people always hitting me up with like, you know, like artists, for example. They'll
Yeah.
be like, oh, yo, like I got these sick ideas for these music videos. Like we should do this and that and this. And like they throw out this huge pitch and like talk to me for an hours about it. And then I'm like, you know what? Like when you're ready to do it, come holler at me and
Holla.
we'll do it. But don't
Never
tell
hear
me
from
some
them.
hypothetical, this is
Plan.
what we want to do and it
Right.
never happens.
Right.
So yeah, that's where I'm at with that.
Damn, just
like
call
it.
them out like that, eh?
Yeah, call out all the artists. If you're an artist out there and you're just talking about it, don't talk about it, be about it.
Be about it.
And call Javon when you need work.
Facts. So
good.
yeah, with your question, we'll just get you to write it down because we don't want to put it in the podcast.
Okay.
And then we'll have it on the next episode.
Okay, cool.
Javon really did think about this.
I
Huh?
know.
What makes you think I thought about
He
anything,
fucking
bro?
wrote that shit down. He
I
pulled that
just
out of
I just made that shit up on the spot, yo.
Hey,
I just
and
made
a
that shit
wrap.
up.
Thanks, guys. That was so fun.